Okay, pag-usapan naman natin ang concept ng implicit differentiation. And how is it different from the basic differentiation that we have learned so far? Namely, yung power rule. So yung x to the power n magiging nx to the power n minus 1. Tapos meron din tayong sum rule. Tapos meron din tayong, of course, yung mga new favorites ninyo, product rule, quotient rule, and last Last but not the least, yung chain rule. Okay. So, we can say or we can summarize, itawagin natin itong mga unang rules na nalaman natin as basic or ordinary differentiation. Okay? Or tatawagin natin sila later on na explicit differentiation. Parang regular way ka lang nag-differentiate or kumukuha ng derivative ng function. Now, ano naman ang implicit differentiation? The concept of implicit differentiation. Well, it came from the word implied. So, ibig sabihin dito, yung idea dito ay yung function mo, mayroon kang variable y, implied ito or implied ito na function ng x, which is pwedeng inaaral din natin naman sa basic differentiation. Pero, as we will see later on, yung x and y mamo, hindi na sila madali isolate away from each other. So, paano kunyari ang function mo sin xy? Tapos, pinapakuha ang derivative niya. So, di ba? Ano yung idea na? Kunyari, meron kang ang function mo y is equal to sin xy. So, kailangan mo i-isolate away yung, kailangan mo kasi masolve yung dy over dx. So, paano mo i-isolate si y sa left-hand side, si x sa right-hand side? So, medyo di ba challenging? Kasi pwede nyo hindi man gagamit yun ng sin, cos, cosine. Yung, So, gagamit tayo ng paraan para ma-differentiate yung mga ganitong uri ng function. So, let's have this simple. So, equations in two variables are used to define a function explicitly. So, for example, y equal to x squared minus 1 defines the function f of x equal to x squared minus 1 explicitly. Kasi, well, explicit tayo. Naka-isolate away yung x away from y. On the other hand, on y squared equal to x plus 1, so if you guessed right na, of course, hindi siya necessarily function, no? Kasi ang graph niya itong parabola opening to the right, okay? At ang vertex niya ay 1, 0 by the vertical line test. We will say na, okay, hindi siya function. Yeah. Okay, hindi siya function. So what can we do here? So this part here says y squared is equal to x plus 1, although it's not a function per se, or it's on its own, it can define two functions of x. Okay, so it implies that it's a function, or it implies that it can give you two functions. Namely, f sub 1 of x, hindi to, sorry, 85 pala yun. Okay, the first function is f of x or f1 of x. That would be square root of x plus 1. And the other one would be f of 2 of x would be negative of square root of x plus 1. It came from y is equal to plus or minus square root of x plus 1. Positive yung f1, yung negative yung f2. So, dahil meron na tayong dalawang functions dito, pwede ka naman namin dito. Okay? Pero kung baga nangyayari, separate derivatives yung kinukuha mo for this. Okay, but if you look at this graph here, okay, although it's not a function, it's not a function. It's not a function. Somehow, well, somehow, meron ka pa rin idea ng tangent line. Doon naman ang galing, yun yung isa mga motivation ng derivative. Paghahanap ng slope ng tangent line. Okay, fine, hindi siya function. Pero, nevertheless, meron pa rin siyang concept ng tangent line. So we can still, kung may tangent line ka, okay, kung may tangent line ka, you can use the concept of the derivative to look for the slope of the tangent line. Pero paano natin ma-manage ngayon yun? Kasi naalala natin, nakita nga natin, di ba? Kapag ang paghahanap ng derivative, we call it differentiation. Yung nakita natin. Pero yung definition ng differentiation, subset lang siya ng definition ng tangent line. Kumbaga, may mga, uh, ang function, pag kinuhanan mo ng derivative, okay, or dinifferentiate mo siya, it implies na kinukuhanan mo nga siya ng slope ng tangent line. Pero remember, hindi lahat ng mga may graphs, okay, may, kunyari may vertical tangent line to dyan, makukuha ng derivative. So mas malaking, yun ang pag-usapan natin last time, mas malaki yung universe ng geometry kaysa part ng calculus. Or baka may intersection lang sila. In some way, baka intersection, hindi mas malaki yun. Okay, so how do we go around this problem here? Hanapan natin. Slope yung tangent line. So, consider x cubed minus 2xy minus 3y minus 6 equal to 0. How do we find the slope of the tangent line? Basically, divided by x. So, solution, gawin natin, i-isolate natin away si y from x. So, we have here x cubed minus 2xy minus 3y minus 6 equal to 0. We can define y explicitly in terms of x. So basically, by x, we mean by this part, i-isolate natin si x away from y. Paano yun? So, lahat ng mga may y dito, lagay natin muna sa right-hand side, lahat ng mga walang y sa left-hand side. Tapos, factor out natin yung y. We get here y multiplied by 2x plus 3. Now, we can divide both sides by 2x plus 3. We obtain x cubed minus 6 over 2x plus 3 is equal to 1. Okay lang. Okay lang i-swap ninyo yung entries ng left-hand side and right side. After all, equality reflects it. So we get this expression here. So we can now perform the, uh, or we can now look for dy over dx kasi meron na tayo separate na yung y away from that. So, we can now use quotient rule. So, to look for the derivative, we get rid of the height, the derivative ng height, 3x squared, minus height, derivative ng low times 2, all over low squared. Okay, so far, okay na to. Pero i-simplify natin to in the meantime kasi meron tayong i-demonstrate na may isa pang technique yung implicit differentiation na that will yield the same answer. Pero yung answer na ibibigay ng implicit differentiation, ito, yung simplified version. Hindi itong unsimplified one. So simplify natin to. Um, we get here 3x squared times 2x, that would be 6x cubed. Tapos may x cubed pa rito times 2, so minus 2x cubed. So we get 4x cubed. And then 3 times 3x squared, that would be 6x squared. 6x squared. Tapos, meron ka dito, sorry, 3 times 3, 9 pala. 3 times 3, 9x squared. Tapos meron ka minus 6 times 2, that will be negative 12. Kasi may negative ka, magiging positive 12. All over 2x plus 3 squared. Okay? So it's actually easy to simplify. Now, let's look at this next example. Now, suppose we have here x to the power of y cubed minus 7x equal to 7, or tangent of x squared minus 2xy is equal to 1. How do we now look for dy over dx? So, kung gagawin natin yung method natin kanina na isolate si y away from x, medyo madidefeat yung purpose natin dito. Kasi if you notice here, paano mo i-isolate si y away from x? You have here x, i-factor out mo dito yung y. So y, x to the power 4, y squared minus 7x. Ito kasi yung mas maliit na power between y cubed and y. So equal to 7. So you get here y is equal to 7 over x to the power 4, y squared minus 7x. Now you can see may y ka pa rin. So hindi mo na-isolate away si y away from x. Ganoon din dito. Gawin mo mag-arctan ka. Arctan of y is equal to x squared minus 2xy. Silipat mo yung minus 2xy dito. Arctan of y plus 2xy is equal to x squared. Paano mo i-isolate ulit si y? Yung y mo rito nakakulong sa arctan. So how do we go around these problems? So to do that, we introduce a concept of implicit differentiation. Ano gagawin natin? So, find dy over dx using implicit differentiation, we, step one, think of the variable y as a differentiable function of the variable x. So, imagination ito. Yung y, hindi mo siya talagang gumagawin ako. Yung y, hindi mo siya ma-isolate away from x. So, i-imagine mo, dito sa part na to, na si y, function na talaga siya ni x. F of x yan. So, meron ka ditong x to the power 4 times f of x to the power 3 minus 7 x times f of x is equal to 7. So, function siya. Kung ano man itsura ni nung f of x na yon, basta nag-exist siya sa ano at in the back of our mind or in the back of our heads. Okay? And then differentiate both sides of the equation using the chain rule whenever or wherever necessary. And then finally, we're going to isolate dy over dx in one side. Okay? So let's demonstrate this by an example. So suppose you have this problem here. X cubed minus 2xy minus 3y minus 6 is equal to 0. So nakita natin kanina to, yung solution number 1 natin, na-isolate natin away si x from y. Okay, but what if we do not want to isolate x away from y? Yung method na yon. So gagawin natin, to, i-derivative natin both sides with respect to x. Okay, so derivative of both sides with respect to x. So let's get a derivative of the right-hand side. Madali lang to. Derivative ng 0 with respect to x, 0. Okay, now let's look at the right-hand side, left-hand side rather. So kung natin ang derivative ng bawat term ito. So ang derivative ng x cubed minus derivative ng 2xy minus derivative ng 3y minus derivative ng 6. Okay, the easiest one here is 3x squared and 6. Derivative ng x cubed, 3x squared. Derivative ng 6, 0. Ito yung medyo challenging. So for this one here, it's 2xy. May constant ka, labas mo na yung constant. So minus 2, kukunin mo yung derivative ng xy. So ano yung derivative ng xy? So we use product rule here. So product rule, derivative mo ng first factor, that will be 1, times copy the second factor, y, plus copy the first factor, x, times derivative ng second factor. Ano ba derivative ng y with respect to x? That would be dy over dx. Okay? O, yun yun. Dy over dx. Derivative niya dy over dx. Minus, labas tong constant, minus 3. Ano derivative ng y with respect to x? Dy over dx. And then, we solve for dy over dx. So we simplify, we get 3x squared minus 3y minus 2x times dy over dx minus 3 times dy over dx is equal to 0. Simplify, hindi pala muna. Lahat ng mga may dy over dx, leave it sa left-hand side. Lahat ng walang dy over dx, leave it sa right-hand side. Okay. So we get here, negative 2x minus 3y dy over dx. Tapos pag nilipat ito sa kabila, magiging negative 3x squared plus 2y. And then we can multiply both sides by negative 1 or divide both sides by negative 1. We get this desired result. Positive 2x dy over dx plus 3 dy over dx equals to 3x squared minus 2y. Then we factor out dy over dx. So we get dy over dx multiplied by 2x plus 3. So we divide both sides, dx squared minus 2y by 2x plus 3. We get 3x squared minus 2y over 2x. That's 3. Okay. So far, notice, ito yung derivative na nakuha natin ngayon sa implicit differentiation. Ano ba yung sulat naman? Implicit differentiation. Ito yung nakuha natin. Ito yung nakuha natin kanina using quotient rule. So notice, ba't hindi sila magpamukha? Well, notice here, lahat dito, puro x na lang. Dito, may y ka pa. So gagawin natin, ipa-plug in na. So, dahil we can isolate y away from x, we have this expression kanina. Y is equal to x cubed minus 6 over 2x plus 3. Okay? So what we're going to do is, although hindi ito standard practice, na kailangan mo pang ipakita na equal yung dalawang to. Kasi first of all, hindi lahat ng function kaya mo i-isolate, hindi lahat ng expression kaya mo i-isolate si x away from y. So, nagkataon lang na madali. Ano lang to, for demonstration, na equal talaga sila. So this one here, we are going to replace y by this expression. So we get 2x squared minus 2 times x cubed minus 6 over 2x plus 3 all over 2x plus 3. Getting the LCD of this one, we get 3x squared. So ang LCD nito over 2x plus 3. So we get LCD divided by 1. We get 1 times 2x squared to 3x squared times 2x plus 3 minus 2 times this LCD divided by LCD, 1 times x cubed minus 6, x cubed minus 6, all over 2x plus 3. So, mangyayari, itong dalawang denominators, magkasama sila, magiging 2x plus 3 squared. Okay? Kasi meron kang a over b all over c. It's equal to a over b times 1 over c. AC over 1 to. So, b times c. Ito yung b, ito yung c. So, nag-multiply c. Magiging ito. And then we simplify 3x squared times 2x plus 3. We get 6x cubed plus 3 times 3x squared, that is 9x squared, minus 6x cubed, 2x cubed plus 12. And we obtain the same result as so equal as it. Power implicit differentiation. Now, at the end of this lecture, magtuturo ko ng shortcut. You can use that shortcut technique pag nag-solve uh, ng, ng implicit differentiation. But for now, long method. Okay, let's have this next example. You have your find dy over dx. If you have x to the power 4, y cubed minus 7xy is equal to 7. So what we're going to do is we get the derivative of both sides with respect to x. Okay, if you get the derivative of both sides with respect to x, what will happen here? Okay, so itong part na ito, yan na. So, kinuha natin derivative of both sides, madali kunin yung derivative ng right-hand side, and that would just be 0. Now, let's look at the left-hand side. Yung left-hand side mo, kukunin mo yung derivative nito, tapos, tsaka derivative nito. Okay. So, for this part here, ano makukuha natin? So, 3x to the power 4 minus x to the power 4 times y cubed. Ano yung derivative niya? Gamit tayo ng product rule. So, product rule, derivative ng first factor, that would be 4x cubed times y cubed, copy the, what do you call this one? Second factor, plus x to the power 4, okay? Copy the first factor times, ano derivative ng y cubed? So, yung y cubed dyan, equal yan sa f of x to the power 3. Okay? So, kumbaga, implied function siya. So, mapabalan 3. 3 times f of x squared. Okay? Times derivative nung nasa loob. Ano ba yung derivative nung nasa loob? Kasi di ba by chain rule, derivative nung nasa loob, f prime x. So, we get here 3y squared, kasi ito yung y, itong y na ito, y is f of x times, anong f prime of x? dy over dx. So we get this expression here. So kung baga kinukuha mo derivative niyan, 3y squared, as is multiplied derivative ng y by chain rule, dy over dx. Okay? Minus, etong 7, lalabas kasi constant siya. And then derivative muna ng x, 1, times y, derivative ng second factor, plus, copy the first factor, x, times derivative ng y. So ito yung y na, yung y dyan to the power 1. So pag bumaba yan, 1y to the power 0, then derivative ng y times dy over x. Eh ang 1, y to the power 0, 1 lang. And that's why you get the dy over dx. Derivative ng y, dy over x is equal to 0, 0 to. Then we simplify, we get 4x cubed, y cubed, plus 3, ano na, sinusulat natin na maganda siya. 3x to the power 4y squared times dy over dx minus 7, sige, 7y minus 7x dy over dx. So we simplify, lahat ng mga may dy over dx, iwan natin sa left-hand side. So we get 3xy squared dy over dx minus 7x dy over dx is equal to, ito lipat natin sa kabila, left right-hand side, pati ito lipat natin sa kabila, plus 7. Then we factor out the derivative of x. We get 3x to the power 4y squared minus 7x. Then we divide both sides by this factor here. We get negative 4x cubed y cubed plus 7 over 3x to the power 4 y squared minus 7x. Okay? Let's look at this next example. So how about find dy over dx if you have x squared minus 2xy equal to cube root of 1 plus y squared. Okay? So we have here get a derivative of both sides. Okay? So hindi kasi natin ma-isolate si x away from y. So get the derivative of both sides. We get here ang derivative ng x squared, that would be 2x minus 2 times, labas natin yung 2, no? Kasi constant derivative of xy multiplied by derivative of cube root of y, that will just be y to the power 1/3. So derivative niyan, baba yung 1/3, no? 1/3 y raised to 1/3 minus 1, so that will be 1/3 minus 3 over 3, so negative 2/3, multiplied by derivative ng y, dy over dx, plus derivative ng 2y, 2y to the power 1, multiplied by y, derivative ng y rather, dy over dx. Now, ang derivative nito, we use product rule again. Lagi siyang, paulit-ulit lumalabas ng xy. So that would be 1 derivative ng x times y plus derivative ng copy x times derivative ng y dy over dx. So, so what do we have here? Isolate natin si x away from y. So isolate natin, distribute natin negative 2 muna. Negative 2y, negative 2 times y, ayun, negative 2 times x. Ayun. Kasi itong part na to, plus 2y. Now, lahat ng mga may dy over dx, ilipat sa, mas simple pala to. Ilipat natin sa right hand. Ano ba ginagawa ko dito? Inilipat ko muna sa isang side. Kung pag samasamahin, hindi pala tama. Lahat ng mga may dy over dx, ilipat mo sa isang side. Basta magkakasama sila. Not necessarily kung left hand or right hand. So, makukuha mo dito, dy over dx, dy over plus 2y, plus 2x, dy over dx. Okay? Kasi matitira sa kabila, 2x minus 2y. Since reflexive ang quality, we can write it in this form. 2x minus 2y. Sa left-hand side, right-hand side. Sa lahat ng mga may dy over dx sa right-hand side. Technique, mas maganda siyang makita lang nasa right-hand side, left-hand side yung mga may dy over dx. Factor out dy over dx, you get 1/3 y to the negative 2/3 plus 2y plus 2x is equal to 2x minus 2. Then we divide all sides by this one. So we get 2x minus 2y all over 1/3 times y minus negative 2/3 plus 2y plus 2x. Okay? I think this is the best time to teach you the shortcut. Now, ano napansin niyo sa may shortcut? Ang mga, ang ang itsura ng dy over dx natin, notice, meron tayong numerator, tsaka lagi may denominator. Most of the time, may numerator, may denominator. Okay. Ano napansin niyo sa numerator? Yung numerator, wala silang dy over dx. Sa denominator, meron silang dy over dx na factor. Yung mga dy over dx na factor. So, napansin nyo, yung mga may dy over dx, pupunta to sa mga denominator natin. Pero, yung mga nasa numerator, yung mga walang dy over dx, mapupunta sa numerator. So, what's the trick here? Ang trick ganito. Burahin ko muna to. Okay. So, notice here, what we're going to do is this. So, uh, uh, pagkatapos yung i-differentiate, ayan, na-differentiate yun na, no? Nakuha nyo to, etong part na to. Ito. So, ito from here, ito na, second part. Ito kasi, kumbaga, ignore mo na to kasi diniretso mo na yan dito. So, nakuha mo tong part na to. Okay. Nakuha mo tong part na to. Tapos, siligan mo. Kapag nasa left hand side, okay, kasi gusto natin etong mga to, mga may dy over dx, nasa left hand side. Okay. Tapos, yung mga walang dy over dx, nasa right hand side. Okay. Yun yung goal talaga natin kasi gusto mo lahat ng mga to magkakasama sa isang side. Most of the time, sa left hand side. Kasi magdi-divide tayo. So, ganito. Kapag wala sila sa proper place nila, or pag nasa proper place na sila, you just adopt the sign that they have. Pero pag wala sila dun sa proper place nila, yung kabaliktaran ng sign ang gagamitin niyo. Okay? So for example, etong mga may dy over dx, gusto mo nasa left-hand side. Pero right now, nasa right-hand side sila. So, ang ilalagay, ganito gagawin mo. Sorry, nauna ako doon. Ganito muna pala. Ang una mong gagawin, lahat ng mga walang dy over dx. I think step 1 din derivative. Step 2, distribute. Basta yan. Step 1, i-derivative mo. Yan. Step 2, lahat ng mga walang dy over dx. Walang dy over dx to, no? Ito lang yung dalawa. Lagay mo sa numerator, 2x, 2y. Ignore mo muna yung signs. Ignore mo yan. Ignore. O, yung mga yung mga may dy over dx, lagay mo sa denominator, 2x, 1/3 y to the negative 2/3, 2y. Ignoring the signs. Okay? Ignore mo yung mga signs nila. Then, step 2, okay? Step 2, um, yung sinabi nga natin kanina, kapag nasa right-hand side na sila, yung mga walang dy over dx, okay, yung mga walang dy over dx, pag nasa right-hand side, or basta nasa tamang place sila, you retain their sign. Pero pag nasa maling side sila, inanegate mo yung sign. Ganon din sa mga may dy over dx. If they're not in the right place, inanegate mo yung sign. So let's start here, 2x. Ang 2x ba nandito na sa right-hand side? Wala. So, this would be negative. How about negative 2y? Ang negative 2y, wala rin sa right-hand side. So, we use addition or positive. Okay. Kasi negative ito, so we use positive. How about negative 2x dy over dx? Yes, nasa left-hand side na siya. So, we retain the sign, negative 2x. How about this? Wala siya sa left-hand side. So, we negate the sign, negative 1/3. How about 2y? 2y, wala rin siya sa left-hand side. So, negative ang gagamitin. Kasi positive siya, negative. Ito, positive, negative. Ito, nasa tamang place na siya. So, negative, retain siya. And then, we factor out the negative sign. Negative of 2x minus 2y over negative 2x plus 1/3 y to the negative 2/3 plus 2y. Pero okay na itong sagot na to. Pero pag pinactor out yung negative, magka-cancel ito. You obtain the same answer. Yun yung shortcut. Okay? You can start here, tapos, tingnan mo na lang yung mga may dy over dx, tsaka walang dy over dx. Ilalagay mo sa numerator or denominator. That's the quick way. Or, if you don't want the quick way, ano lang, edi itong long way, ano lang siya, hindi siya time equation, pero at least, gana pa rin yung method. Okay? So, let's look at this example here. So, you have here, find dy over dx if tangent x squared minus 2x equals y. So, what do we do here? We just get the derivative of both sides with respect to x. Okay, step 1 or step 0. Ano ba derivative nitong y with respect to x? That's dy over x. How about sa left-hand side? Sa left-hand side, ito medyo challenging. So, meron kang tangent, tapos may function ka sa loob. So, kunin mo muna yung derivative no labas. Ano ba derivative ng nasa labas? secant squared. Okay, and then copy whatever is inside, x squared minus 2xy. Okay, then ang derivative ng tangent as secant squared. Copy whatever is inside, multiply by, chain rule ito. Chain rule, derivative ng x squared minus 2xy. So derivative ng x squared, that would be 2x. Okay, notice nakalock yan lahat to. Ito yung chain rule part. That's 2x minus, labas ito kasi constant, times derivative ng xy ulit. Derivative ng xy, y, or that will be 1 times y plus derivative ng x. I copy x times derivative ng y, dy over x. Okay, now medyo hindi apparent dito kung sino yung may dy over dx at sino yung walang dy over dx. So what you can do here is, sige, simplify muna natin. So simplify natin atong 2x multiply dito. So you get 2x secant squared x squared minus 2x, right? Minus negative 2 times y times this. So negative 2y secant x squared minus 2x times negative 2x secant squared x squared minus 2xy dy over dx. Yan na. Dami, no? Ito. Yun, negative 2x secant squared x squared dy over dx is equal to dy over dx. So notice, dalawa lang dito may dy over dx. Itong part na ito. Sige lang, method mo na ganun natin. Ito, transpose sa kabila. So we get dy over dx plus this expression here. May plus. Tapos ito yung matitira dito. Yung dalawa. Then we factor out dy over dx. 1 plus this one. And then we can now solve for dy over dx. Ano yung dy over dx? This expression, okay, that is 2x secant squared x squared minus 2xy minus 2y secant squared x squared minus 2xy all over this expression. Okay? That's one way. Another way, yung short method, ito yung walang mga dy over dx, no? So ito, copy, copy, copy. So ito rin, ito, copy rin, may dy over dx, copy. Notice just pag nilagay mo sa denominator itong coefficient na to, hindi nakasama yung dy over dx. Ha? Hindi nakasama. Kumbaga, ina-isolate mo na siya away. Ayun na, ina-isolate mo na siya away. Tapos, itong dy over dx, ang coefficient na 1. So, 1. Okay, then we look at the sign. Ito ba nasa right-hand side? Wala, sa negative. Ito nasa right-hand side? Wala, sa positive. Ito nasa left-hand side? Yes, kasi may dy over dx. So, everything negative. Ito, nandun ba sa left-hand side? Wala, so negative. Then, just factor out the negatives. Actually, may sinasabi, hindi siya pinafactor na pwede na ito. Pero kung gusto mo lang makita na pareho itong dalawang sagot na to, itong dalawa, factor mo yung negative. Sa numerator, denominator, answer, you get the same answer. So, bahala kayo kung anong gusto niya lang yung long method, short method. Pero I think, so ganito yung long method kasi nakakahilo siya ng method. Okay. So, ay, isa pala. Okay, let's look at this last example here. Find the derivative of cotangent xy plus x is equal to 2. Okay. So, itong cotangent xy, nakakulong itong xy ha. Okay. So, we get here, derivative ng cotangent xy plus xy is equal to derivative ng 2 with respect to x. So, derivative ng 2, madali lang to, 0. For this one here, derivative ng cotangent xy, so derivative mo ng cotangent, that is negative cosecant squared xy. Okay, kasi ang derivative ng cotangent, negative cosecant squared. Copy whatever inside xy, then derivative ng xy. Ano derivative ng xy? So, copy x. So, ano dito? Ito yung chain rule part. Copy x, derivative ng x1 times y plus x times dy over dx. Plus, derivative nitong xy ulit. So, ayun naman, 1y, 1 times y plus x times dy over dx. Tapos, simplify muna natin. So, you get your negative y cosecant squared xy. This multiplied by this, so minus x cosecant squared xy dy over dx plus y plus x dy over dx. Okay, Tapos, lagay natin sa numerator and denominator yung mga gusto natin. Ito, sa numerator, y cosecant squared xy. Huwag yung may ilagay yung sign. Ito sa denominator, x cosecant squared xy. Ito, y sa numerator. Ito, dy over dx sa denominator. Ay, sorry. Yung x pala, hindi dy over dx. Yung x sa denominator. Ito, nasa right-hand side diba? Wala. So, positive. Kasi negative to. Ito, nasa left-hand side. Yes, check. So, rating to negative. Ito, nasa right-hand side. Wala. So, negative. Ito, nasa left-hand side. Yes, yung sinig dy over dx. So, mararating sa positive. And you have your derivative. Okay? Okay. So, ano ang gamit ng implicit differentiation? Why we teach it? This will be the topic of the next lesson.